Hello. 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 Game turn on. I'm out here doing things, man. I'm out here testing things. I'm out here finding out fucked up truths that I should never have learned. About anti-air nets. Oh, I'm out here learning things. I'm gonna share my learned things with you. Science time? It's been a bit of science time. Hey, recognize this scenario? I bet you do. Hang on, I want to test something else first. Bring it over here. I'm testing shit. I'm learning shit. I'm thinking about shit from my downsides from yesterday. Stinger. Stinger. No? Okay. Oh, I'm stuck in VDV, that's why. Logics is kind of a built-in replays using scenarios replayed by games by hand by his approach. Yeah, you'll see what we're doing. Hang on, double stinger team. Where's the mech stingers? That's like a Euro version. Just have you playing in the background so I won't see it. Okay, well, I'll start talking about it in a second. Don't worry too much. First of all, let's talk AA. Specifically Patriots. Remember yesterday I was trying to figure out the way to make an invulnerable fortress against Seed? Remember how I figured out, you know, okay, maybe if you invest like 600 into like really expensive Patriots, you might be good? Okay. Take a look at this. Here's a familiar sight, right? Here's AA. Okay, we've got like...
Air defense, standing by.
Let's redo it. Let's do it properly. Let's do what I usually do, right? Let's do, like... Where's the fucker? I'll just do it myself. The hell's already functioning Euro units? Yeah, for the campaign. Okay, so let's say we have
Anti-aircraft standing by.
one Patriot on here,
Radar turned on. Looking for airplanes.
and then we have an MML covering it, because of course we have our Shroud in front, our layered defense, our Shroud in front of our pack, to make sure that we're defending our Patriot, because it'll be killed by Seed on its own, right? Of course. Okay, so this is the crappy Pack 2 Patriot, by the way.
What can I do for you?
Okay, yeah, it's working out. Here, try it with the one with all the ammo on. Hang on. Hey, what's up? How you doing? That's not a fair test, because that one hasn't got much ammo. Here, switch it around. Radar status off. Hold fire on. Do it the one that has, like, infinite missiles. This one. Radar on. Radar off. Radar on. Defend me. Against 4 Prowlers. Okay, so we have one Patriot Pack 3 with 16 missiles, optimized for missile defense.
Air defense at your disposal, sir.
And then we have one MML AIM-9 with 15 Sidewinders here to shoot down the missiles on the way in. The Prowlers shoot 4 missiles at once. 2 of them are at the Sidewinder truck, 2 of them are at the Patriot. Okay. Just like that, we lose the Patriot, and then we lose the Sidewinder MML. Doesn't work. You're investing extra money there. You can probably do it with a bunch of them here. Put on like a second Patriot. Is this a Pack 2? Okay, put on like a... Hold that one's fire. Put this Pack 3 on, which also has 12 missiles. Radar status on. Okay, cool. And then do like a second Stinger truck. Okay, try it again. Okay, so we got 2 Stinger trucks, 2 Patriots. Yep. Elbraska says, how do I know if an arty is over effective against troops or vehicles? Well, you can do the math of the stats, which takes studying that. Or you can do what I'm doing now and just go into the editor and place units yourself and try it out. Is the best way to see. Okay, so we've got more defense, but we lose quicker. Okay, because now 2 AIM-9s, but we're losing harder, right? We lost the Patriot immediately there. So we've invested more in the AD, but it feels like we're doing worse. Okay? Walter says, I think I don't like where this is going. Oh, you know where this is going, don't you? You know exactly where this is fucking going. Let's hold fire on everything. Okay? Now let's go back over to the simple, humble Patriot Pack 2. Or, fuck it, you know, for a start, well, yeah, do the Pack 2 first. Only 4 missiles, that's all it's got. It's only got 4 missiles. Hold fire off, radar on. Only have a single radar on in this, all this shit. Watch this. For instance, Nebraska, by the way, I'm multitasking here, but tell me an arty that you might want to know what it's effective against, and I'll show you in here how we can test that. Okay, so here we go. Patriot Pack 2. It's only got 4 missiles, so it's going to run out of ammo, but... Bonk. Bonk. Now we're out of ammo, so you have to turn the radar if you're going to die. Hey, what's going on? The fucking overkill mechanic in this game needs to change. What's going on is, I've realized today, is having more radars on, unless you're at a critical mass of like 1,000 in cost investment into your anti-air net, having more than one radar on is making your air net worse against Seed, less survivable against Seed. Because if you only have one radar on, guess what fucking happens? I'll play it again, but I'm sure you saw. You needed an LTO anyway, that's all good, Brasco. This is great. I'm learning so much about the game doing this shit. I really recommend it. Look at this stupid shit. What's overkill mechanic? So the overkill mechanic is this thing they added. So originally, back in the day, you click on that video title. What video title? Seed Drain. Thank you for the 5 stream streak, Total Geek. Back in the day, missiles were just fired at whatever in the dumbest AI logic possible. And it was good. It was just, you know, these 4 prowlers would show up, and if they saw anything with radar on, they would shoot the closest radar thing they saw of all their missiles, essentially. I think they might break it up sometimes, but like, here they are. So you've got 4 prowlers coming in here that each have 4 missiles, okay? So they've only fired 2. Because then they added this thing to the game called Overkill. Anti-overkill, basically. The overkill mechanic in this game, which applies to all units, or all missile units at the very least. More AAs making your air net worse. Oh, true, that's a good clickbait title, I should make that. Is making it so units are trying to be smart by not firing more missiles at a target than they predict is needed to kill it. In this case, I think it's like +1. They're firing 1 extra, because the devs have told them to do that. But these guys could be firing like four missiles every second or every 2 seconds, and they could just keep going. They could rattle them off. So they're very much reserving their fire here. They're being very picky perfect princesses about this. The problem with this, so, is obviously that it doesn't account for things like flares or the missile being intercepted or the missile missing. So when this overkill mechanic was added, it was a huge problem. In some ways, because yes, you avoid the edge case of like, oh, I wasted a couple extra missiles on an interceptor or on a T-14. Oh no, I wasted a couple of javelins. Oh, I didn't need to do that. But then you have this way bigger problem now of it isn't very fucking smart about APS. So you get this problem where you have all these weapons teams and AAs and jets and stuff that are just like, I'm sorry, I'm a little animated about this, just pussying around and like not firing their fucking shit like they want to kill shit. And you get this problem now. So you have potentially 8 missiles like every 2 seconds here. We're only going to fire 2. And in so doing, this single 200 cost Patriot, 180 cost Patriot, can just defend itself forever if it had infinite ammo, right? Until they get really close, and then it won't have enough time to intercept, probably. And this holds true for all of these. I've tested the ones with 16 missiles, ones with 8 missiles. Until they get to, like, here, and it's, like, too close for the Patriot to really respond, they can just defend themselves forever. So the devs added something to handle this, which is if you... Because everyone asked for, like, a way to deal with it. And I asked specifically in my feedback, I was like, can we please get, like, a toggle? Can we get either a hotkey, where when you use this hotkey to click on a unit, you fire everything, or can we get a toggle to toggle overkill on and off. That'd be the easiest thing, right? Just like the hold fire toggle. Just toggle overkill prevention on or off. And I would probably run with most of my units with that off most of the time, to be quite honest with you. But that's all you'd have to do, right? Now what they added, instead, is that they added when you right-click... Neri. When you right-click on an enemy, it overloads the overkill mechanic. So, this is fine if you can see the target, but it does fuck Seed. Now, I don't really care about it fucking Seed. I'm not really mad about Seed being nerfed, because I think Seed being nerfed is better than Seed being buffed. Because Seed is potentially a very frightening thing. You don't want it to run rampant. If it's too good, it's too good. But where this is kind of annoying is anywhere else. Like, hang on, let me play this up first, and I'm going to put effects in the air, and I'll show you what I mean. But for now, just know that because you can only overload it by right-clicking on the target, Seed can't do anything. Waldrix says, I mean, it suppresses if you fire off all your ammo too. What do you mean? So Seed is flummoxed by this. Because I imagine I can send in 30 Prowlers at once, right? Like, it doesn't matter. 2 of them aren't even shooting. Unless they, like, fuck up and all fire at the same time. If A fires off all MOC to jump. Exactly, yeah, you want to be firing that shit off more. Like, let's put in 12 and see if there's any difference. Against a single Patriot. So here it comes. 12 Prowlers. Still 2 missiles, that's all. 2 missiles. And it fucked up getting one of them, I think it was a 5th missile. But, like, it's not noticeably different, right? Like, we die on the 4th interception instead of having to toggle off radar for the 5th. Like, it's very similar. These guys could just squash it. Easily. Like, if I'm this player... and this is enemy players... Hang on, move this over here. And this is enemy players. And I can see them, which isn't typically how you use Seed missiles. Because if you can recon it, you can probably kill it some other way. But if I'm the Prowlers, and I just force fire, I right-click on the Patriot. Oh, we still can't. You actually can't overload overkill with Seed. You actually can't do it. That's interesting. What happens? Do you all aim if I hold fire like this? Hang on. Why are you shooting? I told you not to shoot. What if I tell them to hold fire? Crime says, if you want it to be even more impossible, just have an MML aim 9 hit the Patriot. Yeah, and then it's even worse. But then it's even worse, you know what I mean? Crime, I don't know if you got here a little late, like just now, but that's what I'm saying. The MML makes this worse. I'll show you, hang on. So fly all the Prowlers in. Okay, so are we all aimed? We're ready to go? No, only 2 of them are aiming. See? Hang on. Wait, only one of them is aiming? Only one of them is aiming. But then that one fired off right afterwards. So you can't get around it. The overkill mechanic happens in the aiming stage. They won't even aim at the target. Okay. But yeah, it doesn't matter how many Prowlers you have at that point. What if it's different players' Seeds? I think it still happens. It's gonna be something to do with how they enter radiation missile target vision. Yeah, but that's fine. Let's not get stuck in the weeds here, okay? Don't get stuck in the weeds of this. That doesn't matter. This is just, okay, that's how it is for Seed. I started doing this because I wanted to see how much I should invest into Seed in my deck. And the answer of that is I think I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm not going to try to build a ridiculous airnet anymore. I'm going to put in like 1 piece. Because 1 piece by itself is going to defend itself better. Again, for Crime I just got here, if I put this, it's even worse with a CRAM. The MMO can actually do some work, I think. Well, maybe the CRAM might be better. But if I put this, don't hold fire, radar on, it's going to be worse. You already convinced you overcome mechanics the problem. Yeah, but I want to look at it then otherwise how we deal with it in other places too. But, I mean, you're right. I am preaching to the choir. The point is there needs to be a toggle. But I do want to show a specific thing with the effects. Anyway, hang on. Because this is way worse, right? Yeah. You instantly lose. Do you see what I mean? More radar on, anti-air, and you need the radar on to do interceptions. So if you're trying to do the shred thing like I was doing, more radar is worse at a certain point. Because if there's only one prowler, or we can already see if there's only 2 prowlers, your Patriot can already handle it on its own. And if there's more than that, they won't fire. But then if there's more than that and you turn on your radar, you're baiting them to fire multiples. And the way it works is that the first seed missiles are targeted at the closest target. And those are the first ones to get intercepted by the Patriot. So the Patriot covers your forward SHORAD, but doesn't cover the rear missiles, because the second one's fired are going for the Patriot, and then the Patriot dies. And you could try putting the AIM-9 behind, but then the problem is, I tried this, and the problem is the opposite. The AIM-9 doesn't have the range, so then it sits here and it's baiting 4 missiles, but it doesn't shoot in time to stop the ones on the Patriot. So either way, it's a loss. So this is the interesting thing, is that it is actually actively bad to have more fucking missile interception AA. Because of how the overkill mechanic works against Seed. You are drawing more aggro. You're increasing your threats like a fucking MMO. Okay? Now, I'm not mad at the devs, but I'm just kind of sad animated, because... How do I put this? This is irritating to me that it is counterintuitive like this, even without blaming them, even without saying it's their fault. It's just that, like, this is why there needs to be a toggle. Because it's so counterintuitive. And I, especially coming from before the overkill mechanic was added, have been into this idea the whole time of run Patriots with pivots in front to screen. Because that's how it worked before overkill, is the pivots would do an amazing job of that. The Prowlers would always target the pivots in front, they wouldn't go for the Patriots behind. That's one thing that overkill mechanic does help the Prowlers with, that does help Seed with, is that if you try to play in a way you'd think would work, that's when the overkill mechanic actually gets you. Because they're not firing all of their missiles at the forward pivads, and because they're splitting their missiles up and going for the back Patriot, right? Because they're like, oh, I fired 2 at the pivads in front, okay, we won't keep firing at that one. Or no, there's a Patriot behind, let's shoot that hasn't been shot at yet. So in that sense, it's good for the Seed. But in another sense, it's bad for the Seed, because the Seed just isn't firing all its fucking missiles, and just overloading the AA net and killing shit. And then it's also really bad for you as the player if you think you're being intuitive, you're actually being counterintuitive. You're fucking your air net up. Waldrick says, this tells me that you should actually be over-prioritizing Jet Slowly Fix It, because A is never going to be enough for several cheap craft, right? I mean, this is a test. Like, in a real match, there's probably, like, multiple AA pieces. But, I mean, it depends. It depends what the enemy does. Like, I think what it's telling me is don't bring in 4 Prowlers. Or, have 4 Prowlers in the deck, but don't bring in multiples unless the enemy has a lot of AA, because you don't really get any extra gain out of it. Crypto says, I mean, isn't it intuitive? If a Seed pilot is getting 1 A-Red return, they fire at 1 target. I'm not like a Growler operator, but I don't know what the tactics are. I don't think it's public, but I would imagine that if the US Air Force was testing scenarios like this, and they were like, oh, if we only fire 1 missile, it gets intercepted like 90% of the time by the Patriot, or if we only fire 702, it gets intercepted 90% of the time. But then, if we fire 4 at a time, we overwhelm the defenses. I think their procedure would be to fire 4 missiles at a time. So I don't think it's really intuitive in that sense. But again, I'm not trying to campaign for Seed being stronger. That's not my point. My point is more that by doing what you would think makes your AA stronger, you are making it weaker. That's my point. Do you get what I mean? I'm not trying to say buff Seed. I don't want Seed to be buffed. But I think this is silly. I think this is very silly that this is how this works. And it wouldn't work like this if you could toggle. So if you could toggle the limiters off on your Seed, then it would still make sense to have multiple, because you'd go back to the doctrine of I have to try and stop all the missiles coming in, or you just flip your radars off, which is also a win button. I just gotta start doing that more. So, can you show the clip again? I can show it again, sure. Without the toggle, though, the Seed player has no way to do that, right? So without the toggle, the way the Seed player has to operate is limited by how the overkill mechanic works, in which case we are not encouraged to have more AA if we're worried about Seed survivability specifically. Obviously, if you want multiple Patriots to intercept jets better, that's a different conversation. But if we just want to figure out how to be the most survivable against Seed, because Seed is a huge problem, then this is how. Just run a single Patriot with nothing else. Anyway, let me show you again. Yeah, so again, we'll go And obviously there's like RNG, this might not always work the same way, but let's go again. Radar off. Only the Patriots on. No, they don't share radar information, Cassandra. That'd be crazy. Crazy cool, but unfortunately no. So again, only a single Patriot on here.
What can I do for you?
4 Growlers come in for Prowlers. Interception, interception. Are we gonna get the double interception here? Interception. And then you have to go radar off because we're out of ammo. If you had infinite ammo, you'd probably still die here because they've got too close. But in a real match, they probably don't push this deep in. They just seed from back there. Okay? So we can stop an infinite number of seed missiles with a single Pack 2 MSC only stopped by ammo. So in real terms, we can stop 4 missiles 100% of the time, or I don't know. If you tested this 20 times, maybe you fail sometimes because the missile misses an interception. But then as soon as we try to make our air net better by adding the MML Stinger to protect us, dun 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 dun. So now we have extra defense. We spent double the price. We instantly lose the MML. And we lose the Patriot. Because we are baiting more missiles at us, which overloads the air net. So this is why, really, if this was working correctly, there should be an overkill toggle for all units, but also for Seed, if you want Seed to work correctly, because that's just kind of dumb. But I don't care about buffing Seed. I don't care if Seed is weaker or stronger. I'm not trying to get it to be stronger. I just think that's kind of funny and a good example of how the overkill mechanic is dumb as the defender and as the attacker. Because it's very simple. It's not complicated. You're just firing more missiles. You're getting more missiles fired at you. So let me try something else. Radar off. And this very much informs how I build decks. I'm just gonna run like 1 Patriot today, I think. Or like try pivots in front of Patriot. We can if you want, if you think it makes a difference. I don't know. I doubt it will. The pivot isn't really that good at stopping that shit, but we can do it. I did it before and it didn't help, but we can try it again. Pivads. While we're here, though, you'll want to see it. If I'm wrong here, I'd love to be wrong. If it like RNG works this time, I'd love to be wrong because fuck yeah, fuck yeah. You have to think like, is it bad to have the extra health because now they're gonna be like, oh, I gotta fire an extra missile because the Pivads has too much health. Tanzilla says, I think you could run 2 Patriots, but either use one of them at a time or position and really fire apart. I agree. Yes, I agree. Of course, you're correct. So we got Pivads on. So that's better than a Stinger truck so far, and it's cheaper too.
Aircraft here. At your command. Air defense here.
So that's better. I'd say that is acceptable.
Anti-aircraft here.
That's acceptable because, what am I trying to do words here? Because you're intercepting, it's not better survivability for the Patriot, technically, but it is, you're expending more harms, so that's good. Obviously, at that point, you're fucked, but you're out of ammo. So Pivads is still good. MML Stinger, I don't think good. What about CRAM? CRAM shouldn't be any different. Well, in that case, if it was never getting hit, do you just CRAM for even cheaper? Is Butcher DMSC over 12 target? Yes, it's over here. If you had infinite ammo, or here's a better question. Maybe then the right combo is like 1 of the really high ammo Patriots and like 1 CRAM. Maybe that's better. Oh, also, should I test that a few times? Hang on. I should probably also test that a few times, I just realized. More than once. Because that's good. I tested that before and it didn't work. So that worked better, I would say. I would argue that worked much better than my previous time. Let's test it like 3 times. Do 2 pivots parallel target the same missile? Probably, and I think that's probably the problem, is the more pivots you add of radar on, the more missiles you're baiting. But 1 pivots might be good. This is armored deck, so this you can get this together. Let's see. So we fired 2 missiles. But that time we lose the Patriot. So that time, not so hot. That time is actively worse than just running a solo Patriot for survivability. Though again, you are baiting more harm, so that is a consideration. You are expending more of the enemy's seed missiles. which is good in the specific situation of my teammates also have AA radar and I want to help out by not making the harms go onto them. Try again. And there's probably like ideal positioning and stuff too, right? Like maybe the pivot should be a bit further up. Dies again. Okay, so we got lucky on the first time actually. But it could. Why did we get lucky the first time? It's probably just like which one they went for. What about a better Solar Patriot? Multi-target? Yeah, I mean, you'll still attract only 2 missiles, so it'll only do better. The point of using the Pack 2 is to show that even the shittiest Patriot with 4 missiles can do it. Even with 2 missiles, you can do it. You just run out of ammo. So that's good that time. That time we got away with it. So it's like 50-50 so far. Hey, the pivot is doing a good job. The pivot is pretty good. What's the ELO? Like 650. I don't watch it too much, but I remember looking at it yesterday. I'm about 650. I mean, it's the opening week. I don't know if ELO really means much yet. Maybe the pitchers target the Prowlers. That's a concept. I want to watch this one more time. First wave is fully done. That time we're throwing the pivads and they die. So it is less survivable than running no pivads because you're baiting 4 missiles at once. That is interesting to know. What if we try shooting the Prowlers? I mean, I imagine the Patriot dies instantly because it's not defending itself. Crime says Patriot 3 can target 3 missiles, expanded missiles. Yes, we will try that in a second with the pivads. That might be a better combo.
Cannot comply. Negative. Cannot comply. Possible, sir.
Out of range. What? Oh, they're low out. That's why.
Say again.
5,000. They're in range. Nah, doesn't help. All right, let's try the pivads with. Better trade if we can the playing kill. Yeah, but as you see, if they come in low, they can't. If they come in high, I don't know, maybe. Let's go to the better one with a CRAM because they're in the same deck as well, and I would like to see how that runs. So hold fire. Thank you for your testing. Hold fire. Let's go to the one with the maximum number of missiles, the 16 times missiles. Radar on, and let's put a CRAM in front of it, and let's see if this is a better combo than just being on its own. Counterintuitively, what about pivots behind Patriot? Yeah, I tried that. I get what you're saying, but then it can't shoot. So then it's just extra bait for no gain. You know what I mean? It just, the Patriot like dies instantly. Let's put the CRAM really far up, like here. And go radar on. Play. Setter is neat. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so glad they gave it to us. It'd be so hard to test shit like this otherwise. It's fucking awesome. Okay, so now we've got CRAM screening about 600 meters ahead. You went into an offensive CRAM today with something. CRAM seems pretty fucking good at destroying missiles. And that seemed like that missile was going for an interception. The CRAM killed it, and it goes, okay, I'm coming for you next. That's effective. That might be really good, because now we're getting a really... Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. I thought it was going to retarget and be useful. And it's dead. And then this... Because the CRAM runs out of fucking ammo, too. Which is so annoying. It's like 85 magazine size. So compare that. Run it again. How many waves of siege strikes do we get through? How much ammo do we get through on the Patriot? Let's see, fire in the CRAM first. That's part of it, yeah. But again, if you put it behind... It doesn't really help much. I can try putting it right behind the Patriot. We'll see. Long go. Jesus Christ. And of course, the other thing here is if the enemy only has 1 seed plane or 2 seed planes, you could make the argument that, okay, well, you're not baiting extra missiles anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the problem is, the Patriot can just defend itself at that point, you know? CRM dies instantly. And we're dead. And the other part of this math, so if you want to do seed, you actually don't want to bring more seed planes, you want to bring cruise missiles, right? you want to bring, I think you want to bring like a whole bunch of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles, even in your jets, because a better seed loadout, because of this overkill mechanic, rather than having all the harms, is going to be having a combination of harms and cruise missiles, because you can force fire the cruise missiles to overload the AA net, right? In fact, I should try that out too. Have you figured out which you want to screen with yet? Like in AA, a single Patriot so far. Is everything a radar track 2 missiles? Yeah, that's just how it works here. Because they're assigning 2 missiles per radar target. We can try putting the CRM back, but first I just want to see what happens if the CRM isn't even on. How well we do as a control test here. With just the Patriot on. Yeah, it is wasting harms, yeah. That time the Patriot missile redirected another missile, that's good.
Air defense at your disposal, sir.
But can we just sit here and survive until they'll get to around here and then I'll die because it's too close? Okay, that time we died instantly. What are you doing? Even the Pack 2 does better than you did. What are you doing? Did I fuck it up because I put the speed up? Waldrick says, so yesterday when you sent 2 out of 4 Patriots home, in that game your mistake was not sending 3 out of 4 home. Yes, that's right. Yeah, because hopefully your PT missiles have A up, says Iron Steel. Exactly, that's what I was saying before, is the math. You have to consider a lot of like real situation factors here, like maybe you're supporting your teammates having AA. Alright, and that's going to get through, because again, so it performs the same as the armored Pack 2 with 4 missiles if the Prowlers keep coming in. However, if the Prowlers just sat back here and there was time to intercept, this one would obviously last longer because it's got 4 times the missiles. So, I don't think this is a likely situation in most games. I don't think in most games people send their seed aircraft to just like rush you like this. They usually want to like seed and then fuck off, in my experience. Or they're just like naturally firing off at you as part of their strikes because they're just like felons with seed missiles on the wings. So this is kind of an unrealistic situation of them pushing you like this, of course. But it is worth knowing that a single Patriot can defend itself, I think, here better than 2 of them. Well, what happens if we just put 2 of them on? Well, no, I've already tried that, but we can try it again on stream. The main point is, it turns out you don't need to overinvest in AA. You can just bring a single AA, and if you just want to have some aircraft, if you don't care about, like, overkilling jets, right? Just have, like, one Patriot. That is still effective. You're not shooting yourself in the foot, because before I was going, oh, I can't bring a single Patriot without shit to defend it. That's useless. Wrong. Actually, bringing a single Patriot is fine against Seed. 2 is what we showed yesterday, right? Yeah. And yeah, as people are saying, rotate them. Yeah, so this is just testing, but I do think that the way to go, it requires micro is the problem, of course, but I'm starting to think, after having seen this, that micro is also just something I have to learn. With these, you just have to learn the radar micro, because otherwise it's ridiculous how much you got to invest here. Just like, learn the button, because all of this ignores the fact that the truest counter to Seed is if you just turn the button off, they can't hurt you, bro. And that's always been obvious, but I was always like, I don't want to do that, but I'm starting to realize I think I just had to do it. But yeah, I agree that like in an actual situation, if you can afford only 1, you bring in only 1 and you do whatever. If you can afford 2, you cycle them. So in this case, don't plus pivads. Yeah, if they spam cruise missiles, yeah, I guess it depends on the meta there, right? Now you turn that one off, and you put this one on, if they're further away. You just gotta micro it, because if you literally just press the Z key, they can't hurt you. So at the end of the day, after seeing mathematically how much I would have to invest to be, quote, immune to seed missiles, the answer, of course, is the thing that everyone said instantly, which is just get good and just turn your radars off, because it's literally just a no thanks button to seed. Yeah, Seed isn't real, it can't hurt you, just say no to Seed. What about a layered Patriot, like 500 kilometers? Like, with radars on? And try it, I'm happy to try it. Dr. Deep says, I was always the type of person that likes to reduce micro. I have a bunch of cheap radar in front of expensive radar A, or just don't have radar A at all. I agree, I also was just constantly, like, even up until this morning, just saying, like, no, I'm never gonna have the mental focus, just set up an AFK airnet. And you still can, like, you still can do that. But it's more I'm seeing now that, like, bringing all the pivads isn't helping me. If I'm going to do that, just bring in a solo Patriot. Don't bring in the pivads. It's not helping.
The higher they fly, the further they
Or, like, I guess it That's the thing. In a real situation where you're not being hit by 4 Prowlers, if you completely forget about the Patriot, it is helping. Because if you're only facing 2 Seed missiles, yeah, it'll help, like, shoot more of them down. Though, again, the problem can be that it's baiting them onto the Patriot. But,
Mass landing assistance. What can I do for you?
see, this one's gonna die quicker because it's too close. So that one's gonna die instantly. And then this one's gonna get baited into dying too because it's trying to stop that missile. So, no. Single Patriot. Tom says, I find it funny that modern Western Seed, even if the target turns off their radar, the missile will still strike the last emission point. Yeah, like, if that was the way it worked, then you couldn't just say no, and all the other shit would matter more. But as it is, all that comes out of this is I'm going to start running a single Patriot, I think. Or if I run 2 Patriots, it'll be 1 radar on, 1 radar off, and you toggle them. And then even if you totally AFK and forget to micro your Patriots in the strike, the silver lining is you instantly have another Patriot to put on after the Siege Strike. And the whole goal here is to always have 100% uptime on AA, so that the enemy can never, like, just fucking run rampant with jets on you. Anyway, that's the idea. Performance says, unfortunately, it won't work. In real game, you have cruise missiles also, etc. So you need Pevaz against this. I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about, like, you could say in the real game it won't work, yes. It won't work if the enemy is committed like that. If you seed better, it won't work. Correct. That is correct. If you send in cruise missiles, I don't think this works at all. I could test it, but I think it'd be pretty obvious that just adding more missiles to this would overload the net and would fuck up the Patriot. I agree with that. So if you are facing someone who is, like, smart with their seed and is actively seeding and is sending the cruise missile to overload your net and shit like that, yeah, it's not going to work. Kind of in the same way that if I have a solo Patriot and they send in seed and then the F-35 or Su-57 bomb the position of my Patriot, also will die. So that would die to a pivot as well. The point I'm more making is that a lot of the time in these matches, probably because it's release week, but a lot of the time in these average matches, people are not doing that. All they're doing is just having seed on their wings and sending them the planes in and seeing what funny skulls they can get. That's what I believe. So, like, I believe that because I don't usually see my Patriots dying to cruise missiles, or even see cruise missiles as part of the seed strikes. I just see fucking harms flying off felons and killing my Patriots. And I'm saying, I don't want to invest 1,000 points to have the same thing happen. I'd rather invest 180 points in a single Patriot and have the same result. Do you get what I mean? But yes, you are providing less AA to stop the actual threats. This is only, once again, I'll say it for the 10th time, I'm only talking about survivability against seed here, which is a major problem for someone trying to keep AA up. For actually killing things, the job of the AA in the first place, of course more Patriots is better. Obviously. I would never say no to that. I'm just saying, for surviving seed, which is a problem, 1 Patriot survives as well as fucking anything else in this scenario, when you have, like, overwhelming amounts of seed. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, is don't try to do what I was trying to do, where I was trying to bring such an overwhelming amount of AA that it could never be touched by seed strikes, because you're actually just baiting. It's like level scaling. It's like playing Diablo and a second player joins and all the monsters get twice as hard to account for it. That's how seed versus AA works right now. Okay? Anyway. Now I want to do something different. I do want to play. I'm going to play in probably like 10 or 15 minutes, but there is some stuff I want to do first. I want to look at the facts. So you guys can fuck off now. Thanks for your testing. Foreman says, I usually bring seed and attackers missiles on Patriot position at the same time to overload. Yeah, see, that's why you're the one saying this won't work in real game, because you're the one who's smart and doing it the right way. Exactly. That's probably the main use of bringing those ballistic missiles, is to bait AA and then fuck with it with seed. That's a great point. Yeah, exactly. You use the cruise missiles as the decoys, and you overload with those, and at the same time hit with the seed. I mean, I should start doing that, because that'll probably crush an AA net. That'll probably crush it. Anyway, no, I see 57, week 35. Waldrex. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's a terrible thing the way it works with Seed Waldrex. Again, I will say again, I don't care if Seed is stronger or weaker here. Like, I think it should be weaker, if anything. It's just that I think this is very important for us to know as the defending player, as the AA player. But where I do think the overkill mechanic is dumb is, well, I'll show you right here. Hang on. Go to the Ace Combat waypoint. Bring the Ace Combat waypoint back. Give me effects with all the grubbins. I haven't tested this yet, but I feel like I already know what's going to happen because I've seen it happen with other jets. I've tested this with other jets, I should say, not with the effects specifically. Also, I guess that's why the effects actually is a really good seed platform, because you only get 2 harms, but you get the Jasms as well. So actually, this is a really good seed platform again, it's just really expensive. Former says, but if Guy have like 2 Patriots and 2 to 3 pivots near each other, it's really hard to overload it, only if you bring seed all together over teammate. Yeah, so I guess that's the kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, is 1 Patriot is going to be better against general, just like random seed missile shit from like just being survivable in the back. But if someone's actually trying to kill your Patriot, then more is better because it goes back to actually intercepting all the missiles. And that's what I meant by if there was just an overkill toggle, we wouldn't be having this discussion. If there was an overkill toggle for seed planes, of course 1 Patriot would not be as good. Anyway, I will not discuss this any further. I have made my genius discoveries here, which, you know, were actually really obvious in hindsight. Let's go full AMRAMs. How many AMRAMs can I have? I can have 20 AMRAMs. Okay, 20 AMRAMs. Cover says, that's why the Fix is a really good C platform, because you can get the harms and the Jasms. Beagle, you even hear yourself? What? Why are you coming for me?
Eagle ready.
Okay, so if I click on you... Oh, and I should spam. Okay, that's hilarious.
Taking flag. Still up.
That's so funny. I want to see that again. That's fucking hilarious. That's so good. One more time. One more time.
Eagle standing by for orders. Master arm on. Engaging.
Do it again, Mobius 1. Do it again, Cypher. This is your brain about overkill mechanic. Okay. That's hilarious. But, I mean, you'll see where this is going, but I just want to see exactly how ineffective it is. What happens if we don't right-click the jet? Because, let's say, we don't want to fly directly towards them.
Standing by. New heading set.
Because this is how I've been microing my jets. I've been
Blind accord.
going defensive after I fire.
New
Because I don't want to
course
fly into the enemy's AA net, too.
set. Flight plan updated.
Ooh, we fired 2 off. Oh, that's because it was a Sidewinder. No? We fired 2 off. Why did we fire 2 off there? That's good. I think because the overkill mechanic is fire +1. So I think we'll always fire 2 if I don't pull off too quickly. Let's see.
The big bird is in the
No, we were saying it's better to have different kinds of weapons to overload the anti-air net Moxie because of how overkill works. Combo of seed missiles and cruise missiles. So if I fly directly towards you, we fire 2, then we stop.
Roger, flying there.
In that case, that works. The pilot's like, I'm such a genius, I didn't waste any missiles. But we can't fire more unless we click on the plane, and by clicking on the plane, we fly directly at it, which is terrible in the open air fight too, because you fly directly into their air net,
Eagle here.
among other reasons. Can you cool out missiles? I wish you could. No. I wish this was like Nebulous.
Turning to new heading. Inbound. Proceeding as frag. New heading set.
And as soon as you click off, you can't even like click on them to disable overkill and then click back on, click away to move. As soon as you click off,
Find the coordinates.
you stop overkilling.
New course set.
Which, personally, I find really annoying. Because I don't want to fly directly towards the enemy, I want to stay on the edges, I don't want to fly into the air net and all that shit. So it's worth it to spam click on enemy jet. It's worth it to spam click on everything. I'll go over to the ground game after this as well. And I'll show you. Do you just right click to enable overkill? Yeah.
Eagle.
But this is why I really want to toggle, because I want to just go overkill limiter off,
Proceeding as frag. Inbound.
and I want to be able to defend.
Flight plan updated. Roger, flying there. New
It's so funny though, because the Eagle is being correct every time. The last 2 or 3 runs in a row, the Eagle has just hit every AMRAM,
New bearing set.
and is like, no, the devs are right. Don't waste missiles. Although I actually want to see too, does that mean if you... Does that mean if you come in from the side, and there's like 4 of them, you've really got to sneak this thing, but if you come in from the side, you'll fire off so many, right? Like, you could kill a squadron. I haven't got it to work yet, but you could if you were good. Also, if I fly low, I think. If I have a sniper, if I see them first, move the, bring a scout sniper over here. A slider that goes from K to X to 0 to ult, that'd be nice, but they probably would never add that. It sounds a bit complicated. I'm not gonna live to get enough of these off. Oh, I am. That's fucking awesome. We're in the minimum range now of AMRAAMs is the problem, that's why we're not firing them off anymore. Oh! In that example, am I better off targeting them one at a time? I think so.
Eagle copies. 5 by 5. Engage in afterburner. Target padlock. Turn it hot. Proceeding as frag.
I got more missiles off on the right targets, but in the end, not really. It's also the difference between victory and defeat when it comes to, I should have tested it before as well. Because I've been doing this so wrong. I've been doing defensive fighter pilot micro, and it's really hurting me. Let me put a Raptor in, because this is what I was doing before, and this was interesting to me as well. Go the JATMs. And that person was right who said mix the JATMs with the other missiles, or get the Sparrows in there because they fire separately. They're dead on right, I think. SU-57. The ultimate matchup. Everyone wants to see it, of course. Mods go identical shit against each other. Long range AA. Come to the ace combat waypoint. This is why I have an ace combat waypoint, because I was doing this before. Oh, it's kind of unfair because I have the sniper there, actually. I have to get rid of the sniper now, or is this an unfair matchup? Because the sniper lets us shoot first. Okay, so we come in low. And if I come in low and I do what I normally do, which is I let the pilot pick the targets and I just, like, fly around, we're gonna fire off 1 JATM, 1 AMRAAM at a time. Nice flaring, very lucky pilot. Now we're firing a Sidewinder. And we're not having a great time, right? One more time. See again, we might actually hit this time, but still. Just see how many missiles get fired. Fires have guns in this, most of them, yeah. The Raptor, I think, has one as well. Also, being low does make you get spotted less in air-to-air fights, so definitely be low when you're dogfighting or jet fighting. Yeah, we're just firing off a couple of missiles. We're not really stopping them. What happens if I right-click on you? It's kind of funny because in many ways this game is very advanced compared to other RTS games, but then the way all these unit matchups work in the ground and in the air with the overkill mechanic turns it back into like very old style RTS where it's like you need to manually tell your units to kill the thing you want them to kill in some of these situations, or else they're not doing enough, you know?
I got a smoking engine. Not good.
In this case we got more missiles off, but I don't know if there was enough to matter there, which is funny. It seems like the JATMs have a really long refire time. I guess because they have a few of them. I know for a fact if you have 2 interceptors also you need to do this, otherwise they won't both fire at the same target. I remember when they first added this, I was like, is the game bugged? I was like, why isn't my shit fired? It took me ages to realize it was a thing. Also, pre-flaring is important. Okay, so now we're 2 JATMs away, AMRAAM away, and we get the kill. One more time. Maybe spam clean helps like in Total War. I don't think it helps in Total War, does it? I think it just makes us feel better. I'm guessing can we move here and shoot won't work. That's a cool idea. I like that. It's a really cool idea. But no, I don't think it does.
Proceeding as frag. Turning to new heading.
That's a really cool idea, though. Try it with the facts. If there was a way to get around this micro, that'd be pretty big. F-15. That'd be a pretty fucking massive deal, honestly. I like the way you think. That's a good way to think. Try to find a way around this. Many AMRAAMs. And probably throw some Sidewinders in there, too. Can you get Sparrows? No. No, you can't get Sparrows, but you can get some AMRAAM. Can we go like 4 AIM-9s? Yeah. I'm gonna get shot at first. Because there's no stealth.
Eagle copies.
So I want to afterburn as well, so I get closer.
Roger, flying there. Flight plan updated. Bangs out.
Spam manually, spam flares.
Fuck, I'm hit. New bearings set.
Oh, the point was to test the thing. To test the queue. Checkmate says you can get AIM-174, AIM-120, AIM-9 and Sparrows in the F-18. Maybe try that too. Yeah. The point was to test the micro. Hang on.
Eagle copies. Fight by fight. Inbound.
Free spam flares.
Target locked. Engaging. Target locked.
No, it doesn't work, unfortunately. Only when it gets back onto them do they start actually shooting again. So this is big, though. In the air fights, it doesn't feel good because we don't want to commit. We want to live. But if we're going to be within missile range, we may as well click on the enemy so we actually fire our shit off. We will quickly test the combined loadout on the F-18C, too. Oh, sorry. It's FA-18C. So mods is... You want some Sparrow. Whichever you can get for cheaper. 2 of those, 2 gunslingers, and... Have you got AMRAAMs? No, you don't. You can't have both AMRAAMs and Sidewinders. So if you want long range, I guess just go for the AMRAAMs, and you're trying to fire the Sparrows, gunslingers, and AMRAAMs all at the same time. Would the F-35 be better just because there's more stealth then? Oh, if you're actually testing which fighter beats which, yeah. Maybe.
Yellow Jacket copies. Flying the coordinates. This is shit hot over here.
I don't think the Sparrow is helping a lot. Do I have AMRAAMs on that? 2 Sidewinders are free? Ah, okay. We try that again.
Yellow Jacket armed and ready.
Let's start flaring early. Okay, so hang on. We fired the gunslinger. Now we're in range for AMRAAM. We're not firing the Sparrow. So I feel like I've been lied to. Also, it's interesting how the gunslinger lofts. The Sparrow is now firing. The Sparrow just doesn't show an aim time, okay. Okay, so maybe the Sparrow thing does work. We only got one of them off, but I guess it's just not showing the aim time on them. But maybe that is the right loadout. It saves money too. Bunnemutt says it's on AMRAAM. AMRAAM has it. AMRAAM has it. AMRAAM has it. What are you talking about? AMRAAM has it. Oh, you're talking about the streaming services joke. I understand what you mean now. Sparrow's short of range? Ah, okay.
Yellow Jacket here.
Yeah, I get you now.
Proceeding as frag. Inbound.
Yeah, I mean, that works. That does work.
Changing course.
If you turn away, it loses track. Yeah, which isn't a problem with what we've discovered about how you don't want to turn away in these fights, unfortunately.
Bearing set.
All that shit about minimum abort range and, like, notching and defensive maneuvers and going cold, fuck that. Merge.
Time to
When you're a dogfighter in Broken Arrow, you merge and that's it. I do kind of hope they change this at some point, because The overkill mechanic toggle, for one, will let you defend again just positionally. But I do kind of wish there was like a little bit more like, maybe the missiles, air-to-air missiles flew slower. Just so there was a... Like, I get that they want to compress the ranges to fit the game. That makes sense. But then maybe compress the speeds a little bit too. It would be... Maybe I'm a sicko, but I think it would be cool if there was like just the minimum of strategy and tactics to using the jets. Because right now, I feel like with the fighter jet combat, I think I fooled myself into thinking evading did anything in the previous betas, but that was fun when I thought it did. I think it's really clear now that the meta for fighters is just ram each other. Just fucking go straight into the merge and roll the dice of whether you win or lose. And I don't think that's very interesting because it's just RNG. It's just who brought more numbers and then the RNG of the flares versus the missiles, which is pretty fucking simple and boring. It's just ram money at each other. I think it would be cool if they, you know, for instance, one possible solution, slow down the air-to-air missiles so specifically so that if you fly sideways, it gives you a bit more time to spam more flares, which makes you survive more. And if you turn around at the start of a fight after firing, so you fire and then go cold, go back, you can, like, evade the missile, or just have, again, more time to spam more flares, which increases the chance one of the flares works. I'm not trying to turn the game into War Thunder, but I just think it would be interesting if there was, like, some micro to the fighter jets beyond click the enemy. And he says, I feel like I had better luck surviving my turn in the way. Was that the case? I'm sure it is, to an extent. Because, I'm sure it is to an extent, because you are getting a little bit more time to flare anyway. I just kind of wish the window was bigger, do you know? I'm not saying they have to, like, halve the missile speed, but just like, maybe slow it down a bit, or maybe some other solution that I'm not thinking of right now. The enemy saw you first, you don't care if they hit you. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, you can still play kiting with the long range and with the stealth. You can play kiting. But in later in the match, that's very true as well. In the opening air brawl, you really can't, and that's kind of fine. But if you're not playing with an interceptor that has the 9 km ranges, I mean, I guess it's kind of realistic in that sense, right? You either die or do nothing. But, I don't know, I just think gameplay-wise, it'd be interesting if you could go cold. I just think that'd be cool. Go cold, for those of you who aren't jet perverts, means you go defensive. You completely, well, you completely turn 180 and run away from the missiles to evade them and run them out of fuel. Aldrich says, most of your air tax losses I saw the other day with the AA net rather than enemy air. And that's the danger of this click on them thing, is if you go too far in the opening air fight into their AA net. So you could say that's part of the gameplay too, I guess. I don't know. I just think it could be more interesting. I don't know. I guess it's fine. I guess there's like a pro-con there. Anyway, that's jets. And then lastly, let me show you what I first came here to test, right? What I first came here to test is this situation that lived in my head since yesterday. Yes, it's the Barbarous pack. Do you know how strong Barbarouses are? I do now, because I've spent a lot of time practicing against them with a lot of different ways. Like, I've tested stacked weapon squads. I've tested stacked toe squads. I've tested stacked Moors teams, tacked small teams, stacked like Iron Booker, wolf packs, and Abrams, and stacked ATGM helos. And I can tell you, all of those work, except the stacked small teams. Smalls actually can't do it. Smalls, even in a perfect ambush, just don't even have the ammo. Watch this. Watch the difference, because it's actually kind of interesting to go between the smalls and the raws here. You get any sleep since last streamers? Has all been this? No, of course I've slept. Yeah, what's up, Yeet? We're doing science. Yeet, we're saying they really need to add a toggle switch for the overkill mechanic. Do you agree? Yes, no? Yeah, be advised, smalls are not gonna cut it against this shit. They're too medium. Oh shit, I left this. Yeet says, eh? Really? You don't think so, Yeet? Why? Tell me why. Do you think it's OP or something? I think it adds really annoying micro once you realize how much it matters. Here, watch this. You can kill one of them, because you gotta hit side armor of this more. So you can kill one of them. Oh, why'd you guys get out? You can kill two of them. But even from the side, the small struggles. The rear, it's fine. Get it from there. But the problem is, we don't even have enough AT rounds at this point to actually kill another one. Possibly says, I think the mechanic, because we're out of ammo now, should just be improved. Overkill is a base system, but the overkill logic for aircraft, AGMs, and Seed all have different priorities. Yeah, but why not just add a toggle? Because, like, it's not just, like, one target, too. It's like, if I fire these guys here... let me show you something. 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 That's insanely efficient, alright. Oh, yeah. The fact that you can kill 2 Barbarians as small is good. You have to do it in the ambush, though. If you just do it all in one building, it doesn't work because you're hitting front armor. Now, that's not true of the Moors. Player isn't not just going to sit there usually, too. Yes, the player from yesterday was moving around. In the editor, can I make it so that they keep driving when they don't, like, stop to engage me? Or is that not an option? It's like, sure, but in this case, it defeats what the overkill should be doing, handling complex logic on behalf of a new player. Yeah, but isn't a toggle there for not the new players? Like, if you're a new player, sure, but what about for all of us who aren't new players? Not via waypoints? Okay, that's a shame. That'd be nice. If they could be told to, like, not sit still as soon as they see a target for more complex scenarios. But anyway, check out Rangers Moors instead. This shit's cathartic. I think if you sit on Retaliate, okay, we can try that. That'd be good.
Rangers here. Anti-armor at your command, sir.
I keep forgetting to delete that.
In the air.
Without micro, you lose that fight all the time.
Get in that building.
Die!
Building is secure.
Die! Die!
Surrender is not a right.
Unfortunately, because you get in the building, it's probably better to stay out of the building there. But die! 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 It feels good. But you've got to be flanking. If you don't flank, and you all just sit in one building, they chew through you. Fairfane says, I even as an experienced player don't want to handle having to manage that micro logic. A toggle wouldn't hurt, that looks more successful having a better overkill system I could rely on. Yeah, I mean, ideally, that's true, but I don't know if... I really don't know, even if they clicked their fingers and had the perfect overkill system, unless, like, there's a human being controlling it, I don't think it could ever possibly understand context enough to do everything that you might need to do in this game, because it matters a lot. Like, the overkill shit in this game does matter a lot. Like, it's the difference between victory and defeat. Means that you'll have to only more stack one spot. How does that happen? Well, from now on, after this testing, a lot. Because something I've taken from this testing I've been doing today is I'm going to start stacking AT squads all the time. Here, let me show you something else I think will happen again. Hang on. I'm going to show you some shit that, again, really matters, and again, we're talking overkill mechanic. Or maybe this isn't even overkill, but it's just like the AI doesn't like to shoot the same thing at once. But let me show you some shit. What happens if the left group is Marines? I don't think it works. I tried that, yeah, having like a soak unit. But I think it just depends, especially if the player notices to turn the front armor towards them, it doesn't work. And if these are all Marines, you can't kill them because the AT-4s went out too quick. So I was surprised yesterday when you said you didn't like Troopers AT. Why? Oh, for stacking. Yeah, I could see it. Okay, so let's say I just sit here, right? I get in the building, I just let him go. What happens? Okay, we kill one, that's hell yeah. Then we start doing this. So that's no bueno. The actual base AI is smart enough to turn towards the one engaging it too. That's interesting. Will top-down AT work better? Oh, absolutely. Top-down AT would kill them all. Like, if you just get in this building, I think they'd all die instantly. Again, we can try that. But see how we don't win this? Or even if we win it, we won't win it as well? Like, red ammo now too. So see how we lose that because we don't force fire? It's not one left, by the way, it's two, because there's another one behind that we can't see, right? It's fucked, by the way. The Barbie is fucked. Oh no, we did get them all. We did get them. So that's still pretty good. But before we kind of won more comfortably, whereas here we don't quite. And especially if they're all in the middle in one building, you have a bad time as well. Profane says, I also see flaw in the overkill being a team-level element. Yes, absolutely. I think if it became a player-level element, the overkill discussion wouldn't have existed. No, I think it would still be a problem, but maybe the discussion wouldn't have existed. But I see what you mean. Personally, for me, it'd still be a problem. But yeah, that's also really annoying. I think even yesterday or the day before, we had a match where, like, my Patriot just didn't shoot a missile coming in for it or something. There was something like that, because we guessed that probably someone else's Patriot 6 kilometers away had shot at that missile, so this one was like, I'm fine. And the missile was like, here already? Like, yeah. So that's also a massive problem, and especially in the opening air-to-air fight, it's a huge pain in the fucking dick. Let's see how quick you get with top attack here. How quickly do they melt if we top attack all of them? I bet fucking fast. I want to see it, because I hate Barbarosses now. Override is great for aircraft. Yeah, aircraft really need it, in my opinion. Probably the most.
Rangers at your command, sir. Halt!
Overkill mechanic is also, of course, important for Patriot defense, because otherwise your AA would all fire at the same missile and wouldn't work. Oh, sorry, Hornet. Okay, how quickly does the Barbie die to this?
Establish a base of fire in that building. Roger, attacking the enemy.
Just like deletes. No, because we have all the units in the same building, we actually come out worse. We die quicker. And that isn't top attack because we're too far, or is it? But you could probably get away with doing that with just like 2 Mors teams, the same thing. Eat. I think you want to stack your Mors teams is what I'm seeing from these. You want to have at least 2 of them. Maybe not 6, maybe not 4, but maybe 2 of them. And we delete that. Something else I didn't realize is that it's so easy to be panicked in the match, but in the match I was like, oh, what the fuck do I do against these guys? It turns out they actually just can't pen tanks from the front. They seem so unstoppable, but they just can't pen tanks from the front. So also if you just go like... And that's obvious if you know that, but I didn't really know that, I guess. Like, I think they can't even pen a Booker from the front, right? Like, if we're within ATGM range here... Like, I think they just can't do it. AGMs. Yes, you have to deal with the AGMs, but another thing I learned doing these tests is that the ATGM blah blah blah, they only have 2 of them.
Heavy cav is on the field.
Okay, they can pen the Booker at that range, I take it back. But they cannot pen this without an ATGM, really. So the actual answer to the horror of the Barbie pack is literally 1 Sep. But you have to not let them get on your side. If they get on your sides or your rear, you die. But like, this is fine. I just didn't realize, I thought the Rotocannon could do it all, but of course, the counter is just to have frontal armor of 1 tank. That Abrams crew would get spoiled into slurry. I think that's the thing that was really good from learning here is I've been getting really fucked up by Russian ATGMs in tank fights, and I keep on being like, oh, how the fuck do you deal with that? But I didn't realize, of course, the answer is they don't have many of them. Unless it's an ATGM carrier, they only have like 1 or 2, or maybe like 4 at most on some of these loadouts. Oh god, they're getting behind me.
Heavy cav engaged in combat.
A player driving a tank that close. Yeah, but I would also be over here and they would be here, hopefully. Yeah, I'm just trying to show you that even at point blank range, the autocannon doesn't work like that. So Armada gonna eat me. Where's that trophy? Yeah. So basically, I just gotta pop my smokes better to deal with their ATGMs. Because they don't have that many. I can just pop smokes per ATGM wave and then just win. So it's a big... Micro is a big part there. I've gotta really stay on top of my tank micro and use smokes to stop the missiles before they get close. What else was there? Oh yeah, one last thing. And I think I'm done. One last thing is... Where is my... Okay, take them out for a second. I want to look at them for a second. Bring the weapon squads back. One last thing. Weapon squads. There's some science scenario templates. Sure, I'll never say no.
Yellow Jacket standing by.
So I figure out what the Toby V is actually doing. It's anti-infantry, it's engineering. Okay, watch this.
Shoot anything that moves!
No micro. Oh, we killed that one, that's so funny, we lit up smoke. Hey, this is working great, what the fuck? Oh, because there's 4 of them, but yeah. They didn't auto-smoke. Usually they auto-smoke. That's odd. Yeah, watch this. Don't have to micro them. Never mind. I tested this for like an hour this morning, and if I didn't micro them, they didn't kill them. But now, whatever. Doesn't matter. Never mind. Genius level weapon squads.
Weapons team at your orders.
They fire off 2 jets at a time, so no. That's the annoying things. Oh, good luck. You have a good one. The annoying thing about the weapon squads is they don't fire both their jabs at once. Stuff I should make you look bad? Yeah. Active. Okay, there's the smoke. One for you. Okay, that hits. Smoked. Going to Narnia. What if there's overkill on the smoke again? I think it might also been because I was on super speed. I think that might like fuck up the AI. That's why I didn't super speed into it this time. Because that's not good, obviously. This is what I meant by this is what I've seen before, right? But Moxie says, the first time we didn't pop smokes the second time because there was enough smoke to predict what was there. Oh, and then like it drove out of the smoke, maybe?
Heavy weapons here.
Come here. What if instead we go... all jabs on this one. Wait till we're aimed. Fire. Shift Q through the group. One shot. Fire.
Roger that, we're engaging.
Dead. So I think you want to focus fire with pretty much every unit. Because I think otherwise they're like aiming at different ones or something, or they're not firing at the same time. Oh, I haven't got different teams, Dodger. I'm not sure if it works in the other. Having a tank with squad. Yeah, that could be to tank as well, yeah. I even tried it with an M60, but you have to use the smoke to stop the ATGMs. But if you do that, yes. I think even an M60 can stop their autocannons at range. Because again, let them just fire whenever. A true commander micros every single last soldier. That's right, Renchar. If we just let them go on their own at single speed, does it work this time? Okay, APS hits. They should auto... Nope. I don't know why it just doesn't auto-smoke this time, but okay. That one smokes. We're splitting up the missiles. Smoke. It also helps to fire them all at once so they can't smoke to get out of it, right? So again, this is the difference between like getting the kills or not, I think. It's gonna matter. It's also why it's really annoying that Weapon Squad Jav does not fire their jabs at the same time. Which, I know people say, well, it doesn't matter because the Weapon Squad Jav gets to fire them so quick enough to get through APS. I just still think it's fucking annoying. Like, if you don't know this, the Weapon Squad Javelin does not fire both its launchers at once. Like, if we go here, I'll show you. This is news to you. It's got 2 Javelin launchers, you pay 125 for the squad. But they can't shoot at the same time. There's like a gap between them.
Heavy weapons ready.
Oh, no line of sight. Okay.
Check that building.
Come here, let the Barbies go past. Still on that line of sight. Oh, okay. Hang on. I want to show on that armada. Weapon squads ain't cheap. No, they're 125. They're very expensive. For reference, you can get 2 TOW2As for 65, so 130. Is that far away? Does the Jeff still count as top attack? Yeah, it's if it's close that you don't get top attack.
Weapons team standing by.
The quest for line of sight, apparently.
Look alive! Securing the perimeter.
So, hold... Or don't even hold, just fire. You see how we basically don't shoot until the first one's, like, finished? But you can get through the APS, right? Like, that's the point of it. Is the first missile triggers APS, and then the second missile gets it. Right? Like, that's the idea. I still think it's kind of fucking annoying, though. Because then you get problems where if you have two of them, Benny says, from a realism standpoint, it does kind of make sense, but from a gameplay perspective, it makes no sense. Yeah, from a gameplay perspective, it makes no sense. In fact, the question now would be, what's going to do better? A weapons squad or two toes? By that time, two missiles got APS? Oh, really? Once panics is in the APS can erode. Also true, yes. We should try and get out of range more. What if we had two TOE-2As? I don't know if TOE-2A can even hurt an Armada, but let's find out. TOE-2B would probably be better. Hold fire. Okay, just, let's just do this somewhere else. Because otherwise the Barbarossas will get involved. Delete this, by the way. Do this like over here. And we'll just be, like, down a road. There's the Armada. Here's us. I don't know how close we are. But we're gonna hope that's, like, about the right range. I mean, see overcooked mechanic again. Oh no, like I can right click, but I don't think so. Cool, how are you doing this? Oh, cool, you were doing this. I bet like with Toad normally use jabs, yeah. It's really important to see this kind of shit, yeah. Oh, do you guys not have the optics? Oh, you have the optics to see it. I need a scout. Of course you don't. Where is a scout sniper? You can't even see the tank. Wonder if lasing target makes a difference. We can find out right now. How good is Assassin's Stream? Good. I do actually want to play the game. But right now it's good. Okay, we're too far away, so we need to come a bit closer. I don't know if there's a way to do a ruler in the editor. But let's bring the two toes, like, here. That should be in range. And then, the weapon squad can't be outside the range of retaliation of the Armada, unfortunately. So we'll just come to, like, here. Okay. So let's hold. I'll even keep fire held. And see if that makes a difference. But no, you fire one. Fuck, I know why, too. I know why. Because... Wait, no, I don't know why. I was gonna say I know why, because having more than one of weapon in squads in this game doesn't make you shoot two of them at once. But no, it's only if you have more ammo. So I don't know why. This is... Anyway, just watch, okay. One, okay, then two. Okay, that's good. So we should kill it in 2 volleys, right? I mean, that's not bad. That's really... I'm not saying this is terrible. I'm not trying to be a whiny baby. That's pretty good. That's pretty good to kill an Armada in 2 volleys with a single 125-point squad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's, like, great value. As long as the Armada doesn't smoke. Why didn't it smoke? Actually, I just realized, why the fuck didn't it ever pop smoke? Weird. Okay, so that is the problem, of course, is it's gonna smoke. But you could definitely piss it off. You could deter it easily. Yeah, I guess 2 smokes, yeah. What if I right-click? Does it get to the overkill? Because I can see the Jav team. Wait, you have to see the launching team to auto-smoke? Oh, what? I didn't know that.
I love big guns.
I didn't know that at all. Okay.
No fear.
Wait, there's 2 launchers. Maybe if you click overkill off, I don't know.
Finger on the trigger!
No, you just straight up can't fire 2. Okay. So, it's just what it is. It's just a Javelin team that has a higher rate of fire. It isn't really 2 Javelins, it's just a faster rate of fire Javelin. I'd actually be curious how much faster, honestly. Think he has a scout, will it work? I don't know, we could test that, but then they'll shoot me. 2 launchers, but only 1 guy using it, just hand them up. What if I get a regular Javelin unit, like, it's like an in-game unit, okay. Like a Ranger's Stinger and make them a Javelin. What is the difference in efficiency here? Yeah, if it was just one of them, only hit a PS. So that the weapons squad does have a point. It's an annoying point, but it is a point, right? Like you can say, okay, you're not getting to fire them both at once, which would be sick, but there's still a point to it, especially in this matchup where you're trying to get through APS. But how many does this fire? I guess you'd have to.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Shoot anything and move! Weapons team standing by.
Oh, they smoked this time. Wait, so it's not about seeing me. Or do you see the Ranger's Jav? Go in the same building. Or go in a building down here. Boober says, it feels weird. It's the only squad that doesn't use both launchers at the same time. Yeah. This was my big complaint when I first tried Weapons Squad. And I'll show you something else that annoyed me too. But first I want to just test this, because it actually smoked this time, which is odd. Does it think the APS will be back in time and that's why it's not doing it? Is it, like, overconfident?
Let's go, boys! Light them up! Weapons free!
Because you can't see me any better. What? So it's not about whether or not you can see me. It's... You don't think you're gonna die to the Weapon Squad's Jav? Huh? Why don't you think that? That's fucking strange. I think there's some RNG doors. I'm like, I don't think they did. Yeah, I think it thinks the APS is good enough. I agree. I think it thinks that the APS will recharge in time to stop the Weapon Squad because it's just one squad. Yeah, it's overconfident. Is my guess. Now it's out of smoke. Is it like double speed? I think it's like double the rate of fire. So that's good. Make it like an immortal truck or something. I want to measure their exact rate of fire against each other. Now we're finding out, like, now we don't want the Weapon Squad fixed. Because, like, oh no, Weapon Squad's actually better this way if you only use one of them. Give it 0 ammo, but make it immortal. No, wait, the point was so it didn't have smoke. I fucked up. Oh no! I didn't mean to do that. I gotta load the editor again. Because at least if the Weapon Squad gets double the rate of fire, it's still good. It's not ideal, but it's still good. Hold on. Broken arrow, please. Yeah, if you hit front armor on the heavy tanks, TT Wig, it's very bad efficiency. You really got to try to get the sides or rear with those teams. You got to do the micro. You got to do the work to get your twerk. I don't know, to get your kills. I spent like an hour and a half doing this. I got to play, man, but this is just too interesting because it does change how I'm going to build my deck. Oh, also, I tested it. Forest will never... I already knew this, but just I made sure. Forest will never seem to stop a missile ever. You cannot hide a helicopter behind a forest after firing to block a stinger, which is why buildings are good cover for pop-up attacks for helicopters, but forests are not. Forests are concealment, but you can't use them as cover once the missile has been fired. It won't lose tracking on you. You're cooked. I don't think they're ever going to change that. People complain about it, and I think they're just like, it'd be too much work to change that. New unit. You've been hit by truck. Hang on, stay there. You just move out of the way for a second. Okay, enemy Hemet. Or enemy test M60. Okay, go Immortal. Team 2. No, fucking M60s probably have smoke too. No, I'm fucking this up. I need a vehicle that is like armor but doesn't have smoke. I don't think it exists. I think I just have to take a truck. I just wanted it to be a tank so that the testing will be the same, but for just testing rate of 5, this is fine. Just get the damn truck in here. Okay, so get the truck. Immortal. Enemy team. Test. Okay. Let's see how much of an reload speed bonus we're getting here. Or not reload, rate of fire bonus we're getting. So. Both firing at the same time. Loose. Considerable. So this one's firing again, while this one is only halfway through their reload. Which means... Oh wow, look at that. So this one's got 3 javelins out, while this one's only getting 2 out. So that's it's 3 times as fast? No, because it's getting 2 out while you're getting 3 out. No, but yeah, if you're getting 3 out in the time, you get 2 out, so it's 33% faster. Sorry, 50% faster. Yeah. So we're down to 4 fired, 2 fired, but we're about to fire another one. Yeah, 1.5 times, yeah. I mean, I guess for the cost, that's pretty reasonable. 1.5 times faster, and you are getting through APS. And you have more ammo as well. Okay. How about the toes? What if you fire the toes? How quickly does a toe reload? What is the cost difference, though? Ranger's Jav is 110, but Trooper's AT are 90. It's a little bit more than twice as fast. Can't count the first shot because it's preloaded. Yeah, you could say that too. Yeah, true. But I think that's just aim time, not reload time.
75th, at your orders.
We could test that. Hang on.
ROE squad, fire only if shooting doesn't work. Shoot harder.
Aim time's about the same. Aim time is about the same.
Watch your fire.
Alright, hold on.
You like big guns too? Anti-armor here. Lock and load.
Now I want to see how toes compare to javelins.
New ROE squad. Weapons
Javelins, toes.
Anti-armor standing
Weapon
by.
squad clear in the lead, but how do we go against other javelins? So, I think because they can't reload the toe until the missile hits, the Ranger's Javelin is a bit ahead. The toe isn't too far behind, but it is a bit behind. So the toe is definitely the slowest, which makes sense.
You like big guns too?
We're only just getting our 3rd toe out now. Okay. So a lack of rate of fire on the toe is also something to note. But the toes are way cheaper. 2 toes are also worse. Oh yeah, of course. But, now let's see the last thing. Take our lovely little test truck away and bring the Armada back that can actually be killed. What happens if I shoot you in front armor of TOW 2A, and then what happens with TOW 2B?
Anti-tank team standing by.
Oh, this is gonna get me shot.
New ROE squad, fire at will.
No, we're out of range. Okay, not a lot to front armor. But we knew that. I mean, it's impressive it does any damage at all, honestly. It would take quite a few salvos and the smoke will get you. What if you do TOW 2Bs? No smoke, because the smoke, auto smoke only happens when the tank would die to it. So until it's when it dies without smoking, that's when it's really odd. But yeah, just for the sake of argument, If you run the TOW2Bs, which are 85 each for these guys, how would you be feeling? See, I think the real thing is a combo. What you want... We'll do this first, but what you want... Really... TOW2Bs... Oh, it's gonna smoke, because it was like, that's gonna kill me. But you have APS, so why would you smoke... I guess the smoke logic is separate from the APS logic. Oh, don't move up, you fools.
Pushing forward.
Oh, that got through. I think that's because I'm on super speed. The game is weird when I'm on super speed.
Not engage unless fired upon. Copy. Truck damage. Requesting maintenance. Engaging.
So I won't slow down either, I guess. Yeah, I mean, TOW2B is like Jav in that sense.
AT specialists at your disposal.
So you could run a pair of TOW2Bs to do similar stuff, but you're of course flimsier, and the big problem with TOW2Bs is that they don't hit in the smoke. But Javelins do hit in the smoke. I think there's two combos, which was what I was doing in the Barbaruses, which is you have a TOW2A either way. So you bring one TOW2A. If it dies, you'll wish you had two. But let's say you bring one TOW2A. Okay. Ranger's Javelin, we don't need you. Sorry, go away. One TOW2A. I'm gonna bring 2 weapon squads. Because you could also do 3 weapon squads, I guess. I don't think you need 4. I think 4 is overkill. But if one dies, it's fine to have 4.
All ass. Anti-armor at your command, sir.
All of them
Roger,
aim.
attacking the enemy.
And then this should be a one-shot? No, because... Oh, that time the smoke worked. A lot of the time, the Javelins don't care about the smoke and just work anyway.
Shoot unless fired upon.
I guess it depends on range and angle. But in that case, the Javelins weren't, like, coming from high enough. And so they just flew past, which is odd, honestly.
Weapons free.
Maybe I'm too far, maybe I'm too close, I don't know. Maybe it's just RNG.
All right, don't bang bang unless fired upon.
Or just they'd be done downward slope before the smoke, I think. Once the smoke is dead, it should one-shot, I think.
Offense fire.
Oh, hold your fire. I think you want to fire it once.
Shooting all sight.
The TOW actually goes faster, so the TOW pops APS, and then the double Javelins hit and kill it. So without smoke, it dies, but it will auto-smoke. Can you do the same thing with 1 TOW and 1 Jav squad, probably? Probably. I want to see if I can get the angle to get the one-shot through smoke as well.
Go.
So let's say we just do 2 of them.
Push him out. Anti-tank ready for action. Shoot anything and move.
200 Jav, it'll smoke because it's going to die. No. What? Oh my god. They're like overconfident against single weapon squads for some reason. Is this just a bug in the editor, or does this work in the game? Interesting. Does it not know how to smoke the Javelins because it's a top it, but it thinks it's gonna hit the front? I don't know. How do you delete this in the sorry, I don't know, click on them and then click delete. Go again.
Command, sir.
Can you do that again?
Team here. Anti-tank unit here, sir. Fire at will.
Don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. Right, because that wouldn't kill you, of course. You're so smart, Armada crew. Oh, that's... Oh, because if the TOW hits even a little bit too early, the weapon squad's faster refire is so on the line that it won't be enough to get through the APS recharge. But then the TOW shouldn't hit, but then that happens. Yeah. So you really want to fire them at, I think, an identical time. Interesting. Because if the TOW fires too early, the weapon squad, or if they're not in the same position, you probably want to stack them then. It makes you a little bit more vulnerable, but you probably want to both be in the same building. And just treat it like a combined squad. What about the other jab? Is it specific to the weapon team doing it? No, it's specific to the weapons team doing it, it seems. Like, I can test that in a second, hang on. The toe perfectly goes ahead of the jab, so it always pops the APS first, which I love. And that gets into APS? No. What the fuck? So you need the jab to... Oh, this is finicky. You need the jab to fire a little bit earlier. I mean, as long as it's not moving, the Hellfire, the jab will kill, but if it's moving, it won't.
Anti-tank here.
Too finicky matter to match. Yeah, that's not realistic, obviously, to pop that off in a match. You'd have to have the toe behind the javelin to make that work. Because it also means the weapon squad could just do its own job then, I think. What if... Just get your Marine Raiders to fire 6 lows about the APS, yeah. We're not gonna fuck around with the range thing. Okay, so basically... Toe 2A and Weapon Squad kinda combos, kinda doesn't. And Pal says, in the end, it seems like the 2 Javelin teams are worth the cost, though. Yeah, I mean, probably. The real question, though, is... Sorry, Toe plus 2 Weapon Squads, which is also better. So you can have 2 Weapons teams, or you can have a Toe and 2 Weapons teams for a one-shot. 2 Weapons teams won't one-shot, I don't think, on their own. Because they'll smoke.
Weapons team standing by.
We've done this before, it's kind of worse. That's so funny that's kind of worse. Because it makes them pop the smoke. Of course, a good player will also manually pop smoke. So this is kind of academic, this part. This is only if they're not paying attention to their tank. Are you having fun? I'm having tons of fun, Farry. I'm learning things. Last in the check, and then I think we're going to play a game, is if you have... these guys, or... You know what, actually? Let's give them a chance. What if you have Cav Scouts? If we're getting this finicky, what if you have fucking Cav Scouts? And what if you have 3 of them? Is this the real meta? Okay, have you? No, sure, I'm solo queuing. Oh, I can also tell you, because Hojoski is asking about jab striker shooting faster. The longbow thing with the helicopters, stacking the Hellfires does work. If you have a Hellfire, if you have a longbow with only 8 Hellfires, it doesn't shoot fast enough to get through APS. If you have one with 16, it does shoot fast enough to get through APS, so it's kind of a weapon squad situation.
Let's go, boys! Light 'em up!
Cav Scouts, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you one-shot? Combined 3 times missile. No, because it misses. You could if there wasn't smoke, though, but there's smoke. Which I'll run through just to see. But I'm pretty sure 3 Cav Scouts, if there's no auto smoke, one-shots. Yeah, I mean, it's Javelin. Javelin's 2-shot. So, the way to go, I guess, is... Depends if you're fighting multiples too, but I guess the way to go, because it's different here. Here it's like a Toe and 2 weapon squads works. I think in general, 2 weapon squads stacked together is just the way to go. Or like in Billy's Extra Trophy is the way to go to kill shit quickly. 1 weapon squads will deter. 2 squads... Because 2 squads makes them smoke. No, so you want to do 1 weapon squad and 1 Toe, wasn't that the thing? I think that's what we found out here, wasn't it? Or was 1 weapon squad or a weapon squad of a Toe? But then they'll just manually smoke. So forget about the fucking auto smoke anyway. You like, what, 8 dragon squads? Yeah. Well, anyway. I'm ready to go play now. But this was good. Isn't Cascade a bad unit? I don't like it. But, you know, they have javelins. Alright. Let's go play matches. Noah King says, Toe plus weapon is the fastest kill though, 3 APS ignoring smoke. Yeah, smoke fucks it all up. But Toe plus weapon squad can do it, yes, and be cheaper. Because you can have a 65-point Toe 2A instead of paying for 2 weapon squads. And it's easier on availability too. I'd say a Toe 2A squad is actually cheap enough that you could just stack it with a weapon squad and just be like, this is like a 65-point upgrade to my weapon squad to add 4 guys of a Toe. That probably works. What deck are we thinking about today? So I want to play something of Airborne in it because I want to play with the weapon squads in an actual match. I think in all the previous matches I've had trouble with,
Everything by the numbers.
armor. So I'm going to try to play weapon squads today. And see how we go. So where is my... I kind of want to try and play Marines plus Airborne, I think. Where is my Marines plus Air? There it is. I started retooling it last night, but I gotta finish it off. Cryam says, Russian PTRK Factoria squad is 65 to 80 GMs. Yeah, that annoys me. The Russians also get like a 130 or something cost, like, top tier ATGM team that fires both their tubes at once. That was the thing that originally pissed me off. Because they get to fire both their tubes at once, but the weapon squad doesn't. And I found that very annoying. But I submitted my feedback about that, and it was not changed, and I think it's intentional balancing to restrict the weapon squad's potential. So, if the devs don't want to... If that's how the devs want it, that's how it is. We're just going to play around it. They are still worth bringing because you get... as we can see, you do get the potential extra... Like, the double fire rate, even if you can't alpha strike both at once. And, as we saw, there might also be a weird bug where the tank underestimates them for some weird reason. Which... Russian bias. I don't even think it'd be Russian bias. I just... My personal belief is I think the devs have seemed terrified of Javs being OP for the entire life of this game. And I think they're still scared of it, which is why the weapon squad, to my knowledge, is the only ATGM team that doesn't get to fire its ATGMs at the same time, even though it has 2 of them. It's weird, you know, but I think it is just because they're terrified of the javelins being overpowered. It annoys me as a US fanboy, but it is what it is. They're still worth it because you get the extra fire rate, but they're not as worth it as you'd think when you see, ooh, double javelins. Okay, so... I started rebuilding this last night. Let me take a look at what I've done here. Force Recon. Oh, they added black people, by the way. I was saying this on the Discord last night. Sorry, I just saw them again and remembered. I know that sounds insane out of context, but look, they actually did. Look. They didn't even mention it. I think they stealth patched black people in. Check it out. Black Marines. Black Scout Snipers. Black Airborne Snipers. Holy shit. Black Marine Smallman. It's crazy. Black Marine Raider is real and he can hurt you. It's cool, huh? I'm certain there was no black people before. So I'm pretty sure they like silently patched this in and just didn't tell anyone. It's kind of fun. Not expecting to do that. Yeah, I was surprised too. I was like, holy shit. I want to post about it in the Discord. Benny says, for fuck's sake, Beagle. What? Context? What did I say? I just said they added black people. I think it's good. What did I say? Why is someone going, whoa? The black update? That's good. Good for them. Woke game, Kokona. Anyway, that distracted me. What was I doing? I was looking at my recon tab. Oh, Benny's saying I'm certain there was no black people before. Somebody says, want to group with me in my mode? No, sorry, I'm solo grinding right now. Does Russia have black people? I don't think they've added black people to the Russian infantry. Anyway, do not distract me further on this topic. I've said all I have to say about it. I will now continue to build my deck. So I have the Recon Lavs, 4 Con, Scout Snipers. I'm maxing out on the Recon Jeeps today to try and not play like such a slow little idiot. I'm even bringing the IFAV Toes, because I'm also going to try to have more cheap, annoying shit. I think that's something I fucked up in the last few days, overall, which has helped me kind of get like stun locked in some games. Is it's good that I've lowered my bettered my KD. It's good that I'm not throwing as many units away. That is good. But I think I've honestly become too hesitant to have units be in danger. And it's maybe, like, way too slow. And way too, like, frazzled when shit starts dying. Because I don't have enough on the deck. Like, I think I need more shit like this, where it's, like, cost 50 points, and I just put it in a tree line near the AO, and it exists, and the enemy runs into it like a tripwire. Because otherwise, all units are going to die eventually. You can keep them alive longer through good micro, but even if they don't die, they're going to get hit and need to go resupply, and then there's nothing else there. So I need a little bit more quantity. So I'm going to try to keep microing my expensive troops, but I'm also going to try to throw in, let's bring in more of these cheap shit in my deck so I can bring it in. So I spam these recon jeeps, spam these IFAV tows. I've only got 2 of them, but I should add more if they're effective. Same with this. I'm going airborne marines, because I want to bring the cheap weapons teams. We're not going to upgrade them to 85. We're going to keep them cheap. TOW 2A. Stingers aren't cheap, but they're very effective, so it's kind of like bringing 2 teams. Max out in the smalls, because this is the best ATGM we've got. Or, not ATGM, close range AT, or MAT team. And they're good against infantry as well, so we're going to pair them as we've been doing, Marines and small as a unit inside an Amtrak. I need to bring the Raiders, so I have CQB clear, and then we have the weapons squad. I kind of want to bring 4 of these guys, but I don't know how I'd fit it. I have to cut Marines. Which I could. I could cut back on Marines. And just, like, only use, like, a few at a time. Do I really... I think 3 is enough. I think if I want to do stacked things, I can stack 3. Or I just do the thing where I was stacking a weapon squad of a TOW 2A, and I have 2 to defend. I could also do that. Let's do that. Let's start with 2. Let's start small, because I'm not using weapon squads at all so far, so let's start small. I kind of want to go double Marine Raiders as well, but I think I'd have to drop out Marines. Because otherwise you have to cut a weapon squad. And if I want to use these things, I should bring at least 2. So we'll try to pair these guys with the TOWs. I feel like I should be using the Raiders more. Oh, I don't know what I'd cut to fit them though. I think Marines plus Assaultman Small is good. I guess you could go down to 3-3, and then you could add a Marine Raiders. And that's 3 blocks of assault troops, but then you'll need some transports as well, I think. That's the other thing, is I have no transports. I'm going to bring you guys in a truck, I reckon. In a MTV. We'll bring, like, either 2 weapon squads or a weapon squad and a TOW. And that'll do. Hey, the MTV Ogre is faster. If that matters. Are those airborne next generation weapon squads any good? Yeah, they're great at long range. You got airborne, just bring them in using choppers? Nah, that's always fun when you first start making decks, but in practice, you really want to keep transports of your shit. In my experience. I can fit 2 more Amtraks. Maybe just get some backup Amtraks, because you always need more. And then you can bring other stuff in too. Or I bring in ISVs to truck the extra teams around. The thing about these transports is I gotta get them out of harm's way, because they die. I keep them with the infantry, and then the infantry gets bombed. The infantry ends up on half health, the Jeep dies, and I have no way to get the infantry out. So I gotta, like, deploy them and then move the Jeep, like, a bit further behind where the infantry squad is. Neff says, chopper landings seem the best for set and forget troops like side screens and backpoint defense. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Rangers better than airborne? They're different. Rangers are closer range, airborne are longer range. Airborne is longer ranged, gonna probably beat them, but closer range, I think Rangers wins. And if you have the CQB upgrade on the Rangers, definitely. What if instead we did ISV... Three Amtraks isn't a lot of Amtraks, but go like that, go like that. Can I have one more? Ah! I just gotta take the machine guns off. Go 4 Amtraks. 2 ISVs. It's not a lot of ISVs, but okay. Can I fit more trucks? Possibly. This deck only has Slam Ram. I don't know if Slam Ram can defend itself the way the solo Patriot can. Because it hasn't got as much range, so I think it might fail. But I can just bring 1 or 2 in and micro the radar. We have no rocket arty here, right? Nope. I think drop the Lav M's and bring Hawkeyes. They're cheaper and have much longer range. You don't have smoke, but I guess I was bringing them because I wanted to have smoke in the deck. Smoke is good, but I don't use it as much as I use artillery. I think having the faster, cheaper Hawkeyes with longer range will be more useful for me. How you shoot your own units without rocket arty bigs? A very good point. Okay, we got Brutus, Hawkeye. We have a couple of Lav ADs. I could also just bring more Lav AD. Or maybe even Lav AD with Avenger to cover the tank pushes, rather than bringing a mortar. Because again, like, that's what I should do, is I've been saying I need more cheap shit. Lav ADs for the tanks, but then bring these for dealing of the helos. Not dealing with the helos, being deterrents to helos. Just pepper these throughout my lines, you know. But the big thing here is I really want to fit more trucks. I'm a big truck guy. This can't carry troops, can it? No. These are my biggest ones for carrying troopers. Any recommendations for a softened Marine deck? I haven't done it yet, but I'd say lean into your close range killing power potential. Marines plus recon troops. Striker Shards are great and pile, they're fantastic. I like them a lot too. More truck, more truck. I want more truck. How much more truck can I get? I can get 4 MTVR, 2 MTV. Okay. Let's go 2 MTVs, 4 MTVRs, 4 Lavels. Do you use a Striker MGS much yet? Not yet, but it seems good when it was used against me. I got plenty of Shorad, because I'm always going to have to end up wanting to play those open points, so it's good to make a general deck that can kind of do it all, I think. Then I don't have to complain about going in the open as much. I only have 2 tanks in this deck. That's not great. I think we should try to change this deck up considerably and fit in some more tanks. To a Humvee, okay. Can I fit more IFAVs? I can fit 1 more, but I gotta cut the deck down a bit. Okay, so we don't need this one. We can get it in the Recon tab. And it's better because it has optics, I think. Like, compare this to that one. Oh, this is a better tow, potentially. But not unless you upgrade it. It's pretty similar for AT performance. If you get this one, obviously it's better on Overfly. Which tow would you bring? Would you bring 65 points for the Tow 2B? I feel like a tripwire vehicle like this is never going to beat, with APS and auto smoke, a bigger one anyway, so you may as well just bring the cheaper tripwire tow rather than the done-up Tow 2B, and you get better optics and stealth that way as well. Cram says, I don't know why one would bring a M2 HMG team if you can bring a Mark 47 AGL, because M2 HMGs can penetrate armor that the AGL can't, and they can shoot helicopters, is the big thing. Let's best go with Striker, you think? Striker USMC we were playing yesterday, and it was amazing. I'd recommend that. That was a lot of fun. I might cut the Thunderbolts, as fun as they are. I miss Booker. Not playing Striker, I miss the Booker the most. I need that fucking shit thing back. What's the difference between the 2 Ospreys? I think they're the same. One spec gets a discount on it. I think if anything, for a medium tank, having now been mauled by Barbaruses and autocannons enough, I think I would bring an M60 instead of an M8. For less price, and I think I know what I want more now from an infantry support tank. It's not to play with ATGM teams. It's to support me if, like, autocannons and shit show up. So I'm actually going to drop these, I reckon. because they're too flimsy. They're really good tanks. High micro. I think the bonus of the M8 Thunderbolt is that with high micro, this tank can give you so much for how little it costs, because you're a glass cannon. But I reckon here, what I want to do is drop this and get some light tanks to support my infantry against things that the infantry are going to get squashed by. I don't know if I go for the upgraded engine, because at 105 it's a good deal, but as we get more expensive than that, I'm not certain anymore. The reverse speed's terrible on the M60, that's something to be aware of, about the engine especially. You can go even cheaper and get the CEV for 80. I don't think 300 heat damage is gonna hurt most IFVs though, whereas the M6 can stop IFVs. Sorry, the main cannon. So I think we take it like this. Do you have anything airdroppable? No, but I'm not really doing a lot of airdrops anyway. I think I'm going to bring a couple of these and start trying to use them. I've tried it before and I haven't liked it, but I think that's just because I haven't used them correctly. I think these units need a good bit of micro to stay alive because they're pretty flimsy still. But having one hanging around could be such a difference against like getting IFV rushed or something. Like, just to work with infantry. It'll die on its own, but I think with infantry it could make a good difference. And also, you can use it to shell enemy infantry without closing in on them. Then we have the 2 HCs for tank work. For a true ATGM carrier, this would be great, of course, but I don't think I want to throw that in. It's a bit much. I'll have to test this. I've done enough science for one day, but I should really test the double fire, rate of fire on the Lab ATM and see if it's worth it. But for now, this will do, I think. I'll see if I can leave this extra Thunderbolt on. What can we cut from the air tab? There's probably too much there. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. I'm pretty light on ISVs. But this is all pretty fine. Like, I would like to have more wheeled transports, I think is my big thing, but I just gotta use the trucks and use these well, I think. You trust the Globemaster not betray you again? Maybe, we might cut the Globemaster. These are my real wheeled transports then, the trucks. I'm bringing 2 Slammers. I'm probably only using one at a time. I'm bringing, of course, my Brutuses. I think you could cut down on the Avengers and just have 1 hanging out, or 2 hanging out. And in a pinch, if you really need it, you can bring them with the armor push. But not ideally. Helicopters. We have the 3 Kiowa Warriors for anti-helo. I haven't been using these as much, but I need to just get more aggressive and do it again. Apaches. Yes, good. I think I'm going to change my Apache loadouts, because in my testing, I found that while the double Hellfire longbow does get through APS on its own, it still really wasn't being effective enough for my liking compared to having a pair of gunships. I think having a pair of gunships will be better. And also is just way easier to play. So I think I cut the FFAR Apaches. I just have 2 of these that have a mixed loadout. Just 2 longbows. And if I wanted to get cheaper, I could even run like a Super Cobra as well. With the toes. And I could just use the toes to pop APS and then have the longbow follow up. Gooses, was thinking of getting the game. How long ever do you think the games are for online? Like, how long does it take to play a match? It's 45 minutes, so with the pre and after that, it's about an hour to play around. If it goes to full time, which it usually does. Didn't you say that you need a double Hellfire to break the APS? If you only have 1 helicopter. If you have 2 helicopters, it's like having... You're firing 2 at once, you know what I mean? I mean, hell, you could just bring the Super Cobra for 160 to be the cheap screen in front of the longbow. I mean, you could do it twice if you cut from other parts of your deck. You could always pair a Super Cobra with a longbow, and the Super Cobra always goes in front and fires the toes off. Oh, fuck, that's with the Hydras, too. That's a really cheap deal. Because the toes are nowhere near as expensive as the Hellfires, I guess. But that's still a good deal. The range is not as good, so that's going to be a problem. It'd be fine in towns, but you'd have a hard time in the open getting close enough. But in the open, you're always going to get shore-added. It'd work in a town, I don't know. For now, probably easier to just work with longbows. Oh, you can get the Sidewinders too. Of course you can. This is what Benny meant, I see, by this loadout. 135 points for 2 Sidewinders. 10%. We could also be funny and fly around with a pair of these trying to do, like, seed. With the sidearms, I guess. I wonder if that would work. Seed helicoptering. I wonder if that would actually work. And then you could even stick the Hydra rockets on as a gun... and then this is also, like, a reasonable gunship for infantry support. It wouldn't get man-pads, though, so probably not really worth the trouble. If it shot at man-pad teams, that'd be hilarious, but it doesn't. Yeah, 2 of these. What else do we want on here? We've got lots of room here. I think I'd like a 3rd Black Hawk back. Or you could have back a Hellfire Apache if you really wanted. Just depends if I want something to soak in front of the longbow. But I could also send a Kiowa for that job. Kiowa's got really good ECM, it just probably won't take a hit. Drake says, when you're returning it to the base, you get 100% of the points back? No, you get like 90 or 80%, and if it's damaged or missing ammo, you get deducted for that as well. Something to keep in mind. What if you just run them? What if you just run both? If you run both, what do you lose on the normal Apache? 400 optics? Is that it? I think you only lose 400 optics. They're different Hellfires, hang on. The Apache has 100 meters more range on its Hellfire? And can lock on after launch. It's laser guided. Why is this one better? Longbow's Fire Forget. Ah, this one doesn't Fire Forget. Okay, so this one, I think, hits through smoke. I think that's the big difference. Yeah, semi-active versus terminal guidance. Yeah, okay. So the longbow one, I think, is the one that can hit through smoke. That's why it's the way better one then. Way, way better. I can fit some Venoms into it if I want. I can fit a pair of Venoms and give them rockets. And be a jerk with that. But at that point, you may as well just bring an Apache for that. So just bring them as transports. I still gotta cut stuff, of course. But now let's get down to the air tab. What do I want to do with my air tab? Okay. I think I'm going to cut the Globemaster, so that's 250 points right away. I think the F-18C Hornet is good for playing kiting games. I think I'm either going to be doing... It's either that, or what's like the cheapest ASF Harrier you could build for the air tax at the start? How hilariously spammy cheap can you get? 235 for 6 AMRAMs. It's not that cheap for what you're getting. No ECM either. You can go 4 AMRAMs for that much. You go 180 for only 2. But you can get 2 of them. They're never coming home, but they could come in and fight the air tax battle where your Hornet might have trouble. But the big difference is... I think for the... This is like worse... That's worse for the rest of the game. This plane is actually useful throughout the match, whereas the others are just for winning the opening air fight. So... I think that's better. ASF Harrier is a form of air tax evasion? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Air tax evasion. Do you always run 2 Prowlers? I think you probably always run them in pairs. If you're gonna run them. Or you run Sex Eagle, Sex Eagle, Sex Eagle as your cruise missile seeder. Which would be, where are the harms? 2 harms. Nothing there. You could just run 1 JASM instead of 2 of them. Because it's really probably just about the first one you get off. I mean, they're going to come in earlier, and I guess having 2 is good. $450 is as cheap as you can get with that sense. Otherwise, you could do 1 JASM, then you have to take something here, so it's not cheaper. So 450 Fex with 2 harms and 2 JASMs compared to 2 Prowlers, because it's around the same cost. 2 Prowlers with 8 harms. I think the Prowler is just too hard to deal to beat. Knowing what we know about overkill mechanics now, I think, especially if you know where the enemy's A is, the Fex would be fine for the job on its own. I used to run 2 of them. 2 together would be pretty damn effective, and you could fit it in this deck, you just have to cut from other places. Especially if you know where the enemy's A is. That's a Strike Eagle. But I could fit it in the deck, probably. Same cost. I had to cut other stuff. But I think for generally supporting strikes, 2 Prowlers might be better. How to use Mavericks properly? You just click on the tanks you want to die, and as long as you keep line of sight when the missiles are going off, they'll die. You don't need a Detonator anymore. That's old news. No, that's old. You don't need that anymore. Okay, so 2 Prowlers. We're going to keep the C. You can see the difference between the different F-15s and Harriers. Bombing. Air support. Sorry, anti-air. It's a dogfighter. Flex can do a bit of everything. Can't do dumb bombs. Can only do precision bombs. You know, can do precision bombs and Mavericks and guided munitions and air-to-air. This is mostly dumb bombing. Can do Mavericks as well. That's kind of the difference. What can be 1 carry? Tons of stuff. But right now we've got it in the 84 Snake Eyes. I might cut it. Out of all the things I could save for no points off, it is like really good for its cost, but I might cut it because I have the Strike Eagles. We did this into one of the other decks as well. Or cut one of these. Have 1 Strike Eagle and 1 Lancer. And then I could go 2 F-35s or stay with 1. I could go up to 1,000-pound bombs on the F-35 to try and be more generally useful. Or I can go up to the JSOW to fuck tanks up. I don't have any cluster artillery, so I should probably go JSOW. Get the JSOW F-35 back. I have an A-10 to deal with, I guess. The JSOW could be good. Let's just use one of them, because I've really been underusing airstrike, so we don't need too many. Cruise missiles on the bones, you couldn't F-15. Actually, yeah, speaking of Seed, the way to go would be to bring a Lancer with 600 cost with the 8 cruise missiles, or if you really want to overload the net, 24 missiles for 800. That would probably be the way to go. If you really wanted to do some seeding. Some seed and deeding. And then you'd bring these in with it. And you'd use this first to overload the net, and then you bring in 2 Prowlers and kill them. Try it? I'd have to cut a lot of shit from the rest of my deck, though. Agreed, try it? I mean, we could try it. It'd be different. If I get any kind of idea where the enemy... Well, I don't need to know where the enemy A is. I just bring that in and target everything I can see on the ground. Yeah, okay, sure. We can try it. It's true. This is like standoff air support. I need more of that. I haven't been using bombers lately. So we want to call this in. This is when we're like floating a bunch of points. Call this in plus these. Cut one of the Hornet F-35 for strike. Yeah. So I'm not going to cut the ASF. Checkmate says you have to have saved up 1,500 points for that strike package though. Yeah, but you can. That's not hard. That's just like as long as you're doing well in a match, you just haven't lost any units. It's pretty easy to have that happen, I think. I could cut the F-35. I don't want to cut the Prowlers because I feel like the whole point is to bring the Prowler in then to kill AA while the Lancer is tying shit up. But it would be easier to run with not calling two of them in at once. Could I cut 475 from this deck somewhere else? Could I keep all of this? I could cut, like, the superfluous Venom. I could cut the extra Blackhawk again. I could cut a Kiowa. I could cut one Kiowa. Just cut infantry and think later. I don't want to cut infantry. That's always the problem at this point. I don't want to cut anything. I could cut an M60, because I'm probably only going to use one anyway. That last M8. I could also cut the M8, yes. So I'm also probably not going to use that. It's going to be one of the other M60 or the M8. I'll probably... I have so much ATGM in this, I probably cut the M8 because I don't use that. What do you want Venoms? I want them for Logi. They're just store-brand MH60s unless using rockets. They're just like a little bit cheaper. But I guess you could use Blackhawks for the same thing in this deck, that's true. Yeah, I guess when you have the Blackhawks, you really don't need them as much. Do note that they come with 1750 optics base. But unless you're bringing them to be recon healers, which I usually don't, then yeah, I could cut those out. I have the Blackhawks. Cut 80 more points, and we're good. What if we just took the difference out of the school system? God. No! No, we're not going to do that. No! Nice one, Blackhawk. About the Venoms, I definitely don't want to cut Blackhawks. Kill one trick for 60. I gotta cut 80. That's why I'm thinking of Kiowa. I haven't really been using the famous Kiowa pack lately. 2 might be enough. It's probably a bit light. Keep 3. Keep 3. We can cut somewhere else. We can cut somewhere else. Cut one of your Stinger Inf. Considering how much Stingers you have across the other categories, no. No, because I want to stack them. I want to hunt healers with this. Stupidity rid of Slam Ram? Yeah, could cut the Slam Ram. Could. And just run it on its own. I think it'd be good to have both of them there and one Raider on, one Raider off, though. Make a federal GoFundMe. No, I've got no airborne NGWS in this, no. Cut one into the air, one level, he won't do what he should. So, the reason I'm not doing that and I'm going back to being really over extra on Logi is because yesterday I ran out of Logi options when I was playing the Striker SOF deck and it felt fucking awful, and this is like a reaction backwards. If anything, I could maybe cut an extra Osprey, because I have Blackhawks for everything else, and I can bring in King Stallion and Osprey for Marines together if I need to. I'd rather not cut an Osprey, but I could, and I could fit other cool shit. Most of the time, I shouldn't be helo deploying Marines anyway. How much will a single M60 really do? It's just here to kind of help tank against autocannons. I'm trying it out for that purpose. Now I have 70 more cost. Ospreys are cool. They are cool, but something's got to give here. And now I can fit another Amtrak in case I run out of them. Oh, I can't, actually. Shit. That was almost perfect, but I can't. Why I just cut one King Stallion? Because the King Stallion does something that the Ospreys don't. It's a heavy lift helicopter. Osprey's fast. Yeah, I know. But we can't keep everything. And I don't want to cut the things you guys want me to cut, so we can't keep everything. Look, I can have a Venom back. For some reason. Everyone's like, why do you want it? Because I can have it back, that's why. Look, I can get miniguns on it. My classic setup. Okay. I'm so ready to play. So, because it's been like 2.5 hours of science and deck building, so I'm just going to hit quick match immediately now. This deck is really easy to retool if I don't like the B1 Lancer as well, because if I don't like the Lancer with cruise missiles, I gain like 400 to 800 points if I completely cut the Lancer entirely. And then I can fit way more shit back in this. First mission. Yeah, today is my first match. I've been doing science, so not as many matches today. Doesn't this deck like capping power? We've got 3 Marines. And do we have 2 Marine Raiders? We have 3 Marines, 2 Raiders, 3 assaultmen small, 4 Amtraks, 4 tank, plenty of Shorad. The biggest thing I lack, I'd say, is any kind of armored recon to go with my tanks is the biggest problem with playing no armored or no striker, is I have no, like, effective recon vehicles to go with my tanks and take the same kind of beating. That's the biggest thing I miss. But I gain a bunch of pushing power because I get Marines and Marine Raiders and Assaultmen Small, which I wouldn't have if I played armored or striker. Odinsky says, how do you queue cruise missiles on the Lancer without the Lancer flying straight to the enemy while launching? I have no idea. And we're gonna find out, I guess. I actually have no idea, but I know it's possible because I've seen people do it. I think maybe if you click sideways first, you can do the P launches without it being a problem as long as you're already in range, but we'll see. Buffa says Beegs is trying to figure out how to turn BA into his XCOM game pace and do 1 match a week. God, no. Snowcastle! Very interesting names on the enemy team. I wonder if there's a report feature in this game. Some very interesting ones. Why can't they all be named normal things like aged Tochis on my team? Oh god, where is the deck I just built? There it is. I made only Striker who assumes he by default and I deleted all my others to clean up my deck list. Okay, we're gonna Clepida Rift. It calls it different things. It calls it like the Bay of Winds, but then you choose it and it's like, psych, Clepida Rift. Wizard Mike says, tip for the Lancer, cue the movement for the strike off map, then launch the missiles of precision strikes once it's lined up in the movement queue. Okay. So if you launch the missiles before they're in range, does it fuck up the movement? Also, can the Lancer do it from low altitude?